All right. Our last speaker for tonight is one of our seniors, Benedict Quinn, who's going to talk to you about lessons from a brain injury.
So, Stephen Hawking once said, when I was 21, I had my expectations reduced to zero. Everything since then has been a bonus. For me, it was the age of 20, and I'm going to tell you about that. So hi everybody, I'm Benedict Quinn. I'm from York in England, and in December 2021, sorry, it should be right. There's my bright and bushy tail coming to America. In December 2021, I suffered a traumatic brain injury, and it changed my life for the better. So, here's the story. I'd come to Kutztown for my first semester in fall 2021. I had the world at my feet. I travelled home for Christmas to see my friends and my family that I hadn't seen in 4 months. Went out for a few drinks, and I was assaulted in the street, which led to a complex skull fracture, obviously a brain bleed, and a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is essentially when a blood vessel inside your brain bursts, causing stroke-like symptoms and damage to the brain. So at this point, I was put into a medically induced coma, and at this point, 30% of people who suffer subarachnoid hemorrhage don't survive past that point. Those that do survive, around half struggle with permanent disabilities. So I was in this coma, and my parents were told, we don't know if he's going to wake up and how it will affect him if he does. So around 2 days later, I was awake on Christmas Eve. Around 4 or 5 days after that, I was discharged from hospital in Hull, which is in the north of England, near where I live. But I was now 4,000 miles away from my life in the States. We had no idea what recovery would look like. I wish I could say it was a Hollywood story of recovery, but it was not. There was no awesome montage of recovery like Rocky. It was intense physical pain, depression, loneliness, and a lot of confusion. So you're probably thinking, I thought you said it changed your life for the better. It doesn't sound great. You'd be right, this was the worst year of my life and very difficult for me and my parents. But in Alexandre Dumas wrote, in the Count of Monte Cristo, only the man that has suffered ultimate despair can experience ultimate bliss. That's helped me reframe this entire thing. So, at this point, moving on. At this point, I actually say I was quite fortunate. I had what very few people actually experienced before their funeral, before it's too late. I had a massive inpouring of love, affection, support from all my friends, my family, my network. And we received a lot of tray bakes as well, a lot of sweet stuff, and a whole lot of lasagnas, which kept us going for like two whole months. So my lasting symptom from this traumatic brain injury is neurofatigue. In short, every single sort of sensory input takes its toll on me massively. Neurologists explained it to me like my brain's battery decreasing on the daily. And so, to help this, I have to take regular breaks with doing nothing, so absolutely zero stimulation in dark rooms, which basically makes this a complete uphill battle every day. So my life obviously had been turned around upside down overnight, and I had to rebuild the foundations brick by brick. And that is where it has changed my life for the better. Everything had to become intentional, and it was, and it still is. So I've actually accidentally discovered sort of my formula for happiness in this year afterwards. These 3 things which I highlighted, I had to do immediately for months and months because of my brain recovery. I couldn't really do anything else. And the rest of them, when I became a little bit more capable, I could do. So such like time in third spaces I couldn't do before because of sensory overload, but going to coffee shops, the gym, that kind of thing, it was all fantastic. Now, I would recommend everybody incorporates these into their lives, but I understand time is what I had on my side at this point, and that was all I had. You don't have that much time to do all that in your daily life and, still work and live. So I'd recommend, we all have brains, right? They're all great, healthy brain practices. Incorporate a few of those into your life as much as you can and watch the quality of your life improve, I would say. Especially two golden tickets, I would say. Time doing nothing, which I still have to do, but it gives your brain time to file things away. And a positive reframing. I can now say that I've faced worse odds and won than everything. Quick update, I was able to return to Kutztown to continue my studies and continue playing rugby, which might sound like a bad idea, but it's perfectly safe for me, I promise. This is last weekend playing in New York. And since this injury, I've actually achieved the highest highs I think I've had in my life. Sportingly, for example, I was selected in the best 7 players at the National Rugby Sevens tournament 2 years ago representing Kutztown, and also was a captain on an All-American tour to France. So, what I've learned from this is by going back to basics with a little positive reframing in my life and in your lives, just imagine what you can achieve and how happy you can be. Thank you for listening.